saw one team, the Houston Astros, aggressively out there trying to get in on some of the big names. They were rebuffed, but today they finally got their men, in fact, with Luke Gregerson and Pat Neshek. That's a double whammy. Really a huge piece, I would think, for that team as they continue to rebuild, because that has been a disastrous problem for them.
Yeah, well, and Gregerson's the interesting guy because he has a prior relationship with A.J. Hinch. They go back to their days when he was managing, and he was in San Diego, obviously, as well. And so he's a guy that you could very easily look at as a closer. And I think that's what you see when they're paying him that. He's an overpaid eighth-inning guy and an underpaid closer. It's kind of in between, and I think they're kind of hedging their bet and hoping he could be that guy. And he's got the heavy sinker. He's got the real good slider. He is a guy that, has had a very consistent career. I always hesitate to spend a lot of money and years on middle relievers unless they're at the top of the level. And he's been very consistent over the years, and so he's one of those guys where you can understand where Houston's going with there.
Jack, I know you love to see relievers making the kind of cash they're making right now, right? Unbelievable.
Well, it makes you want to be a reliever, more so than our generation, that's for sure. But, I think we're going to look back at 2014 and we're going to say that was the year that the Kansas City Royals changed the way the bullpen is looked at. 7, 8, 9 is all of a sudden just become a very important part of the game, more so than even in the past. And I think teams are going to really take a good hard look at the success that the Royals had and see if they can model them. I mean, maybe that's what Houston's doing right there by acquiring both the setup guy and possible closer right there.
What about Neshek? What do you guys think of him as a piece of this puzzle?
Well, Neshek's a great story, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he came back. He was injured. He comes, and has an all-star year this year. He makes the all-star team. And, when you look at his awkwardness, his arm angle, very difficult, deceptive to pick up from a hitter. A little bit of a quick pitch every once in a while when there's nobody on base. I mean, there's some things that he does to really disrupt a hitter's rhythm and timing. And that's what makes him so unique. He's got pretty good stuff, too. I love this story because anytime a guy comes back from Tommy John, Jack, and you never know how he's going to respond. And he's just one of those good quality guys that comes back. He rehabs it quietly, and then comes back, and, geez, there he is, donning an all-star cap. It's really a cool story, and he ends up parlaying it into a nice little contract, too.
Yeah, I met Pat Neshek. I was lucky enough to broadcast the very first game he pitched in the big leagues with the Twins. And I remember the pregame interview and how nervous he was and yet excited because he's a kid from Minnesota playing at home. And then all the, like you just said, Duke, all the stuff that he's gone through, for me to see his velocity back, that was the most exciting thing because he really did have to work hard to get that back. And now he's in a position to, put himself on a team that, obviously is rebuilding, but they're getting closer. There's a lot of potential in the Houston organization with all the youth there, and who knows where it'll take them.